everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Lianne Russo Liddell, Associate Broker and Realtor at Occasio Realty. And today I have the pleasure of talking with Ernest Shaver, who is the founder, executive director, and attorney in charge of legal services at the Caritas Project, which is a nonprofit organization that provides advice and basic legal services to low-income and indigent elderly persons in the areas of family law, bankruptcy, life planning, which is powers of attorney and similar documents, eligibility for benefits, and also landlord-tenant issues. So thank you so much, Ernest, for joining me. Let's dive right in and get to know a little bit more about you and your charity. So tell me a little bit about your charity and how you got started.
Caritas is it's a nonprofit law firm that was established in 2014, started operations in January of 2015. It started out as an experiment to see if we could figure out a way to provide legal services to elderly homeless people. We partnered with the Justa Center, which is a downtown charity that focuses on providing services to people 55 and older who are homeless. Okay. There's a huge need in that population for legal services, which they simply can't afford. Most of them, good many of them, wouldn't even know how to find an attorney if they knew they needed one. Right. We decided to partner with other agencies because if you just put your name out there as, we provide free legal services, you get people who just don't want to pay their attorney. Sure. We need some screening. We need to have people who are genuinely in need of the help. And that we wanted to see if we could do it. It's not feasible for most of those organizations, and I work with a couple others, to put someone on staff as an attorney is very expensive. Sure. It creates conflict of interest problems. It limits what the attorney can do. Okay. Because you've got divided loyalties. Set it up as an independent law firm, same as any other. It's just it's a nonprofit, and then focused on this particular population. And then we go. I go once a week to the Justice Center. Was going to the Haley Women's Shelter at United Methodist Outreach Ministries. We had to. COVID has messed up everything this year, obviously. Yeah, of course. And we work with the City of Phoenix, Phoenix City Court Veterans Program that they have there. Going once a week and meet with whoever's there. It's a transient population, obviously, and see what kind of problems they have and what we can do to help them. And with the major focus being on what we can do to get them placed in housing. Okay. So, and the issues. It's amazing how complicated someone's legal problems can be when they have absolutely nothing. Really? Okay. I've had people ask me to assist them with getting patents, which I can't do. I'm not a patent lawyer. Sure. And the idea was kind of dubious, but a lot of landlord-tenant questions. Sometimes just a lot of it is just a matter of listen to their story, figure out what's going on, tell them that, if you have a court date, show up. Sometimes I've had that conversation. It seems like weekly for the last 5 years. Bad things happen when you don't show up for your court date. Yes. It just, the whole range of potential issues, a fair amount of family law stuff that comes up in one context or another. Old child support obligations. I can remember one client in particular, his Social Security was $850 a month, and past child support for a child who was at that point 30 years old, I think, they were taking $350 of that a month for his back child support obligation, all of which was going to the state. Right. We were able to get that reduced to $50 a month. Which meant he was actually able to eat towards the end of the month. Made a difference. But that's the kind of thing we do. And there's a huge need for it, especially with the elderly population. If you're 55 or older and you're on the street or living in one of the shelters, you're in pretty bad shape. Absolutely. And it's bad enough for someone who's younger and has more opportunities and more able to find work. But as you get older, I mean, I don't know how some of them do it. If I tried to sleep on, I'm 57. If I tried to sleep on the sidewalk, I might be able to sleep, but I wouldn't be able to get up in the morning.
It's right. I know. I know.
They'd have to scoop me up off the sidewalk. But no, it's I found it to be really rewarding work.
I'm
And
sure.
trying to, currently, we're looking, well, let's see, 2019, which was the last year of full operation that we were able to do. We worked with 200 individuals, just under 200 individuals.
Wow. That's
you know,
amazing.
Yeah, we're able to provide a variety of services to them. It's going to be fewer than that this year, unfortunately.
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense. So tell me a little bit about what some of your goals are for the next year, given that this year was different for everyone.
Sure. Yeah, the obvious goal is we want to get back to 100%, back to where we were at, back in March.
Sure.
Which would mean, well, the women's shelter at UMOM currently is pretty well buttoned down, and they don't want people coming in there from the outside.
Sure.
And the Phoenix City Court, I would actually go down there for court hearings during the time when they had court hearings. Right now, all of the courts in Arizona, as I understand it, are limited to 10 people in the courtroom at any given time. Which which would make me, completely extraneous.
Right.
If you start adding up who's there, the judge, bailiff, clerk, public defender, the prosecutor, defendant, I don't need to be there.
Sure.
But we're hoping to be able to get back to that. Right now, it's probably looking like it'll be midsummer.
Okay.
And as soon as it's feasible, we'll go back to the Haley shelter. Longer term, I'm looking to expand the program to try to find another appropriate venue to partner with. Would ultimately, the long-term goal would be to try to meet, 1,000 people a year. I can do probably half that, maybe a little more myself. Beyond that, it probably would involve bringing in other attorneys, working out, creating some kind of volunteer program. And we've been looking into that for a couple of years.
Okay. Do you think you would need to partner with some other organizations as well, just to continue to kind of get the word out?
Probably. I mean, we want to focus. It's kind of a bit of a conundrum. I want to publicize that we're doing the work.
Sure.
Don't necessarily want to just hang a shingle out and say free legal services, as I talked about before. Yeah,
it needs to be more directed.
Yeah, and the advantage of working with the other organizations is that the clients are pre-screened. That nobody is at a homeless shelter for fun.
Obviously.
And if they have the means, they don't stay.
Right.
But and we want to focus on to direct our efforts to those individuals who, if we didn't do it, Caritas wasn't there, they would not have any access to legal services.
Yep. Okay. Well, it's absolutely wonderful what you're doing, Ernest, and I'm excited to hear that this even exists, because that is something that I often think about, of affordable housing and how to get people placed in those, just so they can be off of the street, since I know there aren't a ton of affordable housing options in Phoenix. I know there are some grants that are being worked on, but nothing super immediate. So tell me a little bit as well about your end of the year fundraiser and kind of what you're working on.
Yes, we're a community-based charity. We're a 501c3 charity eligible for the Arizona tax credit, and we've been designated by the Arizona Supreme Court as an approved legal services organization, which means they recognize that that we're a charitable entity. We've been funded by a number of churches. One foundation private foundation, unfortunately, the name of which I forget. I should know that, but it was a relatively small grant, but it was appreciated.
Sure.
Some individuals, a couple of law firms. We
Okay.
are, you know, we're a relatively small organization at this point, but we have a budget, and we'd like to, expand our fundraising base and the number of people who support what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's worthwhile work, and most
Of
of the
course.
people I talk to when I explain what I'm doing think it's a wonderful thing that's very much needed.
Absolutely.
Caritas, at this point, as far as I am aware, Caritas is the only legal organization in Maricopa County that is focused on elderly homeless.
Mm-hmm.
There are other pro bono organizations out there, but the elderly homeless are not the focus of anybody else's particular work. And I think they're obviously one of the most vulnerable populations out there, ones that are most in need of the assistance. And
absolutely,
we're happy to give it. It's it's very rewarding work.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes. Well, good. I'll definitely be sure, to link everything below in this interview, so people can get in touch with you if they would like to help out. On more of a personal note, Ernest, what are some things that you like to do when you're not working?
I do woodworking, hand tool woodworking.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's no power tools. I still have all my fingers.
That's good.
I'm a history buff. I like to read history, and I like to cook. Which,
okay.
If I were to stand up, it would be obvious.
Nothing wrong with good food.
No. And I've lived in North Central Phoenix for 30 years now.
Okay.
I love the area. It's
me too.
I grew up in Phoenix, and I've always liked that particular area, so that's where I moved when I bought a house.
Wonderful.
Enjoy being there.
Wonderful. Well, Ernest, thank you again for taking the time to talk with me. And everybody that's watching, thank you again for taking the time to watch. And once again, I'm Lianne Russo Liddell, Associate Broker and Realtor at Occasio Realty. And I was here with Ernest Shaver with the Caritas Project. And again, I'll link everything below this interview so you can get in touch if you'd like to help out as well, or know anybody that might need these services. So thanks again, Ernest, and I appreciate you taking the time.
You're welcome.